a great big hey, howdy, hey to all my goofy goobers out there. Welcome back to Animanic Commentaries with C.Auzi.
And DF.
Was that a dinosaur?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was appropriate.
That's fair. Mostly because this movie does involve time travel and does feature a dinosaur, which, I mean, if anyone's seen the trailer, it's not really a spoiler. But yeah, we're watching Meet the Robinsons. Modern day classic. I'll just say it. This is probably one of the better films of the aughts. What about you, honey? Thoughts?
It's an interesting movie. And it looks like we have somebody in here who's watching this for the first time, so we might want to avoid spoilers.
That's true. So I guess we should probably go ahead and get into it. There's no reason to stall the future.
I mean, the only thing I want to say is that, fun fact, it's convenient we're watching this right now because the future part of this movie takes place in 2037, and one of the main characters we follow is 13 by that 2037. So in 2024, right now, this is the year that he's born.
Hooray! Happy birthday! All right. Well, I suppose we should probably go ahead and get into it. I do love this movie a lot. And like I think this is just another example of like the quality of animation that Disney was able to do with CGI. And again, this is their second film, and I already said like last week, like the animation in Chicken Little is good in spite of everything else. The animation in Chicken Little is good. So and the design is, but like in this movie, we get a bit more of a traditional Disney look for the first time in CGI from Disney themselves. That is true. This film did have the benefit of the fact that Disney had recently bought out Pixar, and one Mr. Lasseter as a executive producer on this film for the first time in any of Disney's feature film history. And we're not going to hold that against the movie, because if that were the case, then nobody would watch any of the Toy Story films. So,
yeah.
But so we're basically just gonna leave that in the water and just note that this movie is good and we're gonna watch it. If everybody has this, any copy, now all the logos are gonna match up with the modern logo. Yeah?
Don't forget to share the screen with me.
Oh yes, let's not forget to share the screen with you. Thank you for reminding me. All right.
Like you're about to start it.
So without further ado, it is time to go back to the future. that didn't make any sense. And we're gonna go ahead and start it in 3, 2, 1, go! Future time.
So the first time I watched this was on an airplane, and you know, this was when they just showed the same movie like on loop on certain channels.
Yeah.
And so I watched it like 5 times on the very long flight.
Dang.
You know, I was a kid, so there weren't a lot of movies for the kids to watch, and I was not the kind of kid who would sleep on a plane, so I just kind of watched it over and over again.
No, that's fair. That's entirely fair. Now, finally, this logo. I can actually talk about this logo a little bit, but I guess I'll do that next time, because
I wasn't able to watch this in theaters because I was living overseas, and like, I was in Poland, and if we wanted to watch a movie in English, we had to book it ahead of time, and it was like that one day that our school had arranged an English screening of it, we couldn't go, so yeah.
Man, just silence over the title, and then music comes in.
Okay, so I'm trying to remember whether it was the director or someone who was adopted, and so this movie was very personal to him.
Probably. But yeah, this scene, as if you is like from a storytelling language, the sepia tone indicates that this is the past, which makes a lot of sense because this movie has a lot to do in relation to time travel and whatnot.
And yeah, I think another reason why it's kind of sepia, because I mean, aside from just an artistic choice, like often when we are babies, we don't perceive colors right away.
Huh. That's very interesting. Did not realize that. And again, I was
I mean,
probably too young to remember.
Well, I have some like vague memories of my past, and I mean, as a baby, or at least younger than 3, and they, oddly enough, those memories are kind of sepia tone.
That's wild. Eyes have to develop. And here's our real introduction to these characters.
Yeah,
It's absolutely delightful.
our vision's very limited when we're a kid, so colors are not as noticeable.
Look at that, the way he just hands him the caulking gun is like he knows exactly what the fuck's going on here. It's like, I love that. They are pretty close friends. Double standard. It's only okay if I eat the peanut butter. It is very important, him talking about baseball. It's not just like... Yeah.
Goob is baby Kirby from Chicken Little, and that makes sense.
That would make some sense.
And a couple years have passed by since then, so...
Yep. So he's a real little kid, though. And a famous scientist picture framed on his wall. I'm not sure who that is, but like the little details that add to
this movie, I think,
character.
feels a lot more personal to the animators too. You know, when they
this
got
is a funny
something
little
finished.
gag here.
Yeah, just that feeling of satisfaction from like any creative, whether it's inventions or art or music. Just like, oh wow.
Also put into
stories in my
perspective.
case.
Put into perspective that the 2 scientists framed on this wall. I'm assuming, pretty certain. Yeah, that is funny. I was thinking of mentioning that the boy who voices Lewis is Mike TV in Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Really?
So quite a range. He can play an asshole and a decent kid.
Now, Mildred, a good orphanage lady. Thank you for breaking the Annie stereotype.
Actually, notice with slightly different hair, this woman sitting here is actually the mother, and the previous senior model was just swapped out the hair for a different hair.
That's why people had the theory that she's actually his mom.
Which is not true. It's just a budget thing. They didn't exactly fully develop like the Pixar Incredibles like randomized extras system.
It's like, what's your favorite sport? Like, geez, like that's all boys should be interested in.
They're just sitting here and listening to him, and like.
Although she really does look like Lewis, even down in the freckles.
Again, like I said, they just recycled the woman's full body model, just gave her slightly different hair. Maybe they didn't even give her different hair, but it seemed like, yeah. She could say something, like, more appropriate, like, just immediately.
He's allergic to peanuts!
Yeah. They could say something, but they didn't. Oof. Jeez.
Yeah, get the EpiPen, get the EpiPen.
This
right in the thigh, yep.
This isn't modern day, so it's just a normal syringe. Is that Wendy Malick? Sounded like Wendy Malick.
No.
Okay.
That's not her.
Yeah,
you know it was her. She has a very distinct voice.
Yeah, she has that tone, though.
Kind of a Midwestern tone.
Yeah. Lewis just not.
We all sound the same,
and
so...
this is like... poor Lewis.
Stop getting funny. I killed him? God.
Good Lord.
Yeah, like maybe you could have gone with almond butter, like Hero does.
True. And this is also another great moment, just showing how his brain just operates. Not exaggerating the point. Speaking of 13.
This makes me want to adopt all the more.
I know, right?
Yeah, we have a
Love the
nice orphanage
animation
lady
on
for
her
once
there.
in these movies, you know?
They were really using up the squash and stretch on her head and her face there. It's like, look at this. This really is the same team and the same like animating engine as like Chicken Little, and it just proves just how good that engine was designed. I was like, not sure if Disney borrowed it from someone else or if it was like something that they created themselves, but it was like they definitely figured it out. They definitely got like they got it right on their first 2 tries. At least from an animation standpoint, but this is where they really get to the character standpoint, though.
This movie walked so Tangled could run.
That's true, and I love that parallax zoom, the dolly, the vertigo effect is what it's usually called. And all the songs in this movie, as few as there are, or at the very least, the songs this song is an original song for the film.
There's our Wednesday Addams.
She definitely has
thing.
Wednesday Addams vibes. And he's at the college. Because of course he is. A real brainiac.
Oh yeah,
here.
I mean, colleges do allow you to audit classes, like it. And you could just ask if, like, hey, can I just sit down in one class?
I love this.
And you know, I imagine they've also arranged things. It looks like the school's arranged stuff because looks like he has a very high IQ.
Yeah. I mean, look at this kid. He's building literal magic. This is science fiction.
Okay, no, look, I've had roommates. This is the point where you say, hey, can we, like, have some quiet hours?
Yeah.
Or, you know, like one of my roommates, hey, sometimes I want time to myself. So I'd, like, you know, take my homework into the student lounge.
You weren't using this, were you? He's just literally
a lot of similar looking parents here.
Yeah, again, we're just recycling models and putting different hair on it and different clothes. It's a budget thing, and you know, yeah. If it were 2D animated, an animator would be able to just draw a completely different design for one scene, but it's like that's not something you could do easily in CGI. You have to completely model a new character. That's not economic. Everyone calls him Goob.
Sipping that juice.
This is great. You think Pixar is the one who brought the dino thing? Because that dino looks like the Dinoco from Toy Story, like way back when it was like green or something.
I think so.
I love that bit where he just grabs the coffee.
Cars was a year before this, so
yeah, they made Dinoco blue in that. I'm not sure, but you know, it happens. Yep. I don't think you should crack any hippocampuses. That wouldn't be very safe for your brain.
That's a part of the brain that has to do with memory.
And Einstein's in his clock. I love it.
For people who don't know.
It's like getting aesthetically cartoon humans. Like Pixar had down once Brad Bird was like, "Yeah, let's just force you guys to learn how to do this." And then like they nailed it. They nailed it. And then and Brad Bird was on Ratatouille. They had such beautiful designs in there. And then like there you go. They just,
and you know, there's like a couple years at the Incredibles.
Incredibles
so,
is a couple of years. Yeah, this is Which is wondering is like they probably like, which is why I say they're probably not using the same system that Pixar did, because otherwise they could have just used the same system for creating randomized background extras that they use. And here's kind of a Toy Story effect that a lot of these boys are just the same boy with different hair.
And Joan Cusack once again.
Yep.
She's like in every movie around this time, wasn't she?
And her character has the same energy as Dory, just without memory issues. She's very, very.
I haven't slept in 8 days. No, she's
perky.
just extremely sleep deprived and buzzed on caffeine.
Yep. I love the way they're able to get her mouth to work. Like, again, you have to imagine Pixar probably knew how to do shit like that. Her mouth just... A lot of people have said this, and I believe it, this Croach feels like a role that Patrick Warburton passed up. It's really funny. I recognize that voice.
He's like, I'm judging on pizzazz.
That's just a random friggin' gobbledygook. Laurie Metcalf. Oh, it's Laurie Metcalf as the science lady? Oh.
Is it? She sounds a lot like Joan Cusack.
Just like that other woman sounded a little bit like Wendy Malick.
No, she did not.
She did a little bit. Love the eyebrow twitch there.
Oh, it's Jim's mom. Okay. So speaking of Toy Story. Oh, and there he is, Wilbur Robinson.
Oh.
Where he just segues in there.
Yeah.
You know what? This is kind of Back to the Future, except...
Oh! Look at how... I love how the contrast is. Like, the rest of the humans have been animated pretty standard, but he's animated very cartoony. I absolutely love it. The contrast is beautiful.
Yeah, spoiler alert, this is... Yes. Spoiler alert, is... Like...
No, he basically said he's from the future. He said he's from the Time Continuum Task Force.
No. What I'm trying to say is, this is like Back to the Future, except this is if Back to the Future was from...
It's more like Back to the Past, honestly.
No. Instead of being from Marty McFly, it would be from George McFly's point of view.
Well, geez. Basically just gave the whole game away, huh?
That's why I said spoiler alert.
Funny enough, Funny enough, I didn't. I didn't know what the fuck perp meant, so I was like, no, please explain it to me. I don't know.
Well, you know, I grew up on superhero cartoons and you know, shows like Fillmore, so
that definitely helped. That definitely helps you to figure that out from an early age. I just didn't.
Also, a whole lot of detective shows like Monk.
Yep. Get the frogs! Do not let the frogs go. I'm bringing a lot of attention to the frogs.
Watching this movie and knowing how it turns out is so different.
It's also really funny, like, after the fact.
Just
it's like,
every little moment.
Also, this movie came out in 2007, so if this bowler hat guy is, say, has stolen a time machine, probably from the future, especially with that hat, he looks like Dr. Doofenshmirtz, and he's also as affable. Like, we're gonna see him later. Okay. He's a lot of fun.
Wilbur here again. Have you been approached by a guy in a bowler hat?
Yeah. Just like, has anyone seen the man in a bowler hat? Yep.
The teacher does support him. Just, that's true. You know, he wants to make sure everyone's safe in his support.
I think this is Tom Kenny's first time in a Disney movie.
Angela Bassett was Mildred? Wow. Angela Bassett, by the way, was in Black Panther.
That voice, like, that's Tom Kenny's, like, scientist voice, I guess.
Oh, yeah, she's a queen. So, the voice of the orphanage lady, she's the queen of Wakanda.
Oh. Damn, what a step up from orphanage to the queen. That's great. How does it work? Bella's finally... Oh, wait, no, Bella's been here for a bit. Huh. I love that line.
You see, he judges on the flare.
And Wilbur's like... No, wait a minute.
Yeah,
like,
he judges on the flare, the rest judge on the science.
I love the way Wilbur perks up at that. He's from the future. He knows something. Just not sure what at the moment if you've never seen this before, but, like, he knows something. And he's like, ah, shit. And there go the frogs again. Come on, dude. Don't drop the frogs. Yes, that's really Tom Kenny, yeah. It's really Tom Kenny.
The teacher.
The teacher is Tom Kenny, yeah. Hey, there it goes! What was that, a Kool-Aid volcano? That certainly weren't baking soda.
Ooh.
Yeah, that cannot be comfortable.
No, army ants bite.
Yeah, they do.
They bite.
And red army ants, their bites are more painful. Yeah.
What do you mean red army ants?
Coach,
army ants are red, period.
Coach,
like saying red
Coach,
tomato.
suck it up. I never heard him say that. Coach, suck it up. My God, that's such a good line.
I hear it now, because Tom Kenny's the mayor in Powerpuff Girls, right?
Yes. That is kind of what this sounds like. Yeah, it does kind of sound like
just
Powerpuff Girls.
a little less goofy, but I hear it. But I hear the tone.
He was also kind of sounds a little more like the narrator because he was also the narrator in Powerpuff Girls. City of Townsville, Lewis. And what do you know? How fucking simple. And the water looks pretty decent. It fits the cartoon aesthetic at least.
He's such a goofy villain.
He is. He looks and sounds like Snidely Whiplash. He even has the mustache.
Exactly what I was thinking. He's like Snidely Whiplash, except Snidely Whiplash is a bit smarter. I'm sorry.
He's a bit smarter. He's also fucking green. Oh.
Well, I don't know. He's almost greenish there. Yeah, I mean, he looks sick.
Looks kind of sickly, yeah. But he's not like bright lime green like Snidely is. And like, yeah. And now,
okay, what's with everybody going against Scribe here?
I don't know.
Like, what's its animosity towards Scribe lately?
I don't know.
I missed something.
Yeah, people like taking the piss out of him. Jim Carrey was approached to do. Oh my god! Oh my god! Jim Carrey as Bowler Hat Guy would have been amazing. He's still a great character, and I love the actor's performance. But like, Jim Carrey would have been amazing.
Who voices Bowler Hat Guy?
Probably just a voice actor.
Just a voice actor.
I mean, it's like they didn't like if they were going for Jim Carrey, they were going for star power. The director voices Bowler Hat Guy? That's hilarious! Oh my god! That's amazing! I have to imagine it's a similar situation to Rumpelstiltskin in Shrek 4, where it was just the guy was doing the guy was just reading off the storyboards. It's like, Dolores, we're going to be super rich. And then everybody just thought, it was like, hey, why don't you just voice the guy? It's like, you know what, I think I will. And maybe I would have loved if there was an expiration date on that could be like, but I am from the future. Look at the expiration date. 2027. June 2027. It's like it's risky, but maybe he'll actually listen to me.
Every time there's a time travel thing, I'm always annoyed by the... What's the word I'm looking for? Paradoxes. The time paradoxes. I'm always annoyed by that.
Yeah, because the time paradoxes are always like hit or miss. It's like, does it actually work, or is like...
I've only read one book where the time paradoxes made absolute sense.
There's never been a time travel story where they made sense. The only time travel
story there is. I've read one, and I'll tell you about it later.
All right, but like, the only time travel movie I've known to ever make sense were the first two Terminator movies, because it's a permanent time loop. It's a closed time loop. Everything the Terminator goes back in time to try to prevent, they inadvertently
it's
like
series,
just
the Dragon. Is this book series the Dragon Twins? Well, it's the whole book series is Dark World, but the time travel they explain in there, the way they explain it, it's perfect. No complaints about it.
But like, now this is another song that was written originally for the movie, and it has kind of a pop song version in the end credits. They got the fucking choir out for this one though. Insta building under construction. That shouldn't take long.
If only. And that could solve all of our homelessness problems.
True, but it would put a few construction workers out of jobs, so... And then
they wouldn't need jobs because they'd have the... They wouldn't need jobs because we'd have homes.
Well, I guess that... I guess when you put it
and
like that...
I'm pretty sure those construction workers would be like... They could get jobs at the invention places.
Wander Rihanna was right. Just travel by bubble. Wander Rihanna was after this, though, but, like, still. Well, retroactively, it takes place after this because the future and time... Anyway, whatever.
No doubt that this is not going to be 13 years in the future.
No. No.
Sadly.
This isn't even going to be, like, 5 years. This isn't going to be, like, 10 years in the future, even, like... Whoa!
Sees.
Well, that's a tough one. Woof. Whoop.
Jane, you're born this year.
Jeez.
13 in 2024. This is his birth year.
Yeah. In the advertising's the only movie to say that this was the year 2037, which, by the way, for Meet the Robinsons came out in 2007, which...
30 years in the future.
Which would make it 30. Everyone's always up about 30 years in the future.
Because I think 3 decades makes a big difference.
Somewhat, but in very, very small ways. Like, we're still using
50s
microphones.
And 80s were a big difference, I'll give them that, but...
Like, we're still using microphones. They haven't figured out technology better than microphones in the past 100 years. They've made better microphones, but nothing better than microphones.
Streaming services. Beyond streaming services, we've gotten COVID.
Just look at that. Wilbur's just more cartoonishly animated, and I love it. Also the contrast of how just spindly he is. Look how skinny his arms is compared to Lewis, who's like his muscle arms just from like just his construction.
I like that.
That's a good crossfade showing us that we're in the same place. Time travel just puts you at a different time. Yep.
See?
Don't
he's kind of sickly greenish.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. I think that's mostly his stubble area, though.
No. Look at his skin.
Oh, around his eyes, yeah, I see it. He's so young, he's probably never seen like earpiece phone thing. I love his crooked teeth and everything.
He hasn't brushed them in ages.
And actually,
the fact that she actually lets him, come on, I'd be suspicious at that point. Where he's like, can that be a boy's name? Like,
it's like, it's so weird. And you look at this guy, and like, you also notice his animation is a lot.
He was a brony before bronies were a thing.
He really is from the future.
Oh, you're right.
What's really funny is like, yeah. Yep. You can even see
Yeah,
his
but,
animation is also.
She can whisper to him.
Yeah.
So I don't get why she can't just be on his head. He's holding it upside down.
Well, no, he's holding the box upside down so we can take the box off the top. I love that.
And they just go on with it. So pretty progressive company, huh?
Love them, yeah.
All those
stooges,
guys with the same.
all those like business executives are all just the same guy with different hair.
Like, come on, at least change the height.
Sign the contract. I love that.
Oh man, this makes me really nervous for my pitch meeting in March.
You'll notice, like, the Wilbur comparison, this guy is from the future, you can tell, because he has super cartoony animation compared to everyone else.
He had any of this through. They keep establishing that he hasn't thought any of this through.
Yeah, this poor schmuck. Even the crooked nose looks like Doofenshmirtz's nose a little bit.
And wasn't this the year Phineas and Ferb came out,
No,
too?
that would be 2 years later, like 2009.
No. Phineas and Ferb didn't come out in 2009.
I'm just going off of what I remember. It premiered in 2007? Phineas and Ferb? Did it?
Release date February 1st, 2008.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it was like... Yeah, it was right after High School Musical. At the end of 2008, the beginning of 2009. Yeah, that's right.
No, February.
February of 2008? Good lord.
Yeah, because if it came out 2009, I would not have been able to watch it in Poland.
Yeah, fair enough. Get that boy. Yep. Woo!
First episode aired as a sneak peek in 2007. Aha! See, I was right. It was 2007.
Darn it. Alright. Hello, Huffins and Guy. Welcome back. Love this Wizard of Oz bit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He's using the big voice again. And on the topic of the future, Carl looks like a future version of Ben from Treasure Planet. Whoop. Woof. Woof.
He just pulled that out of his pocket.
Again, everyone in the future is a cartoon character. Yeah. Whoop. Off he goes.
Watching
Schwink.
this, like, with the context.
Only people in Canada have that kind of hair.
But he doesn't know how all this stuff works.
Nope, he does not. Just stay here. Stands beneath the tube and just whoop.
It's amazing it stays on his head.
It's a pretty sturdy suit. It's a pretty sturdy hat. Probably why he chose it. What a couple of freaks.
I don't see the other doorbell.
The other doorbell's on the other side of the door. It's much closer to his pot, the potted plant he's in. Yeah. Yeah. Woof. I feel bad for the bike. Yeah.
He does a couple other things pretty quickly.
Imagine that. Oh, that acorn's probably from Chicken Little, now that I think about it. Blowing up in your face. Did I mention this movie was the first to be released in digital 3D in theaters, like for Disney animation? They called it Disney Digital 3D and it was a big deal. Yeah. Woof. Dumb schmuck.
Yeah, we know, but we don't know why.
And off he goes, finding more things out.
To me, that he doesn't figure it out.
Nobody recognizes him with that hat on.
It's like a platypus.
Also,
Hey, the platypus.
also this guy's old.
Yes, but
Yeah. Woof.
how are you talking?
You can hear him
How are
kind
you
of
talking without any teeth?
You can hear him kind of slurring his S's a bit. God Lord. You gotta love this. Sure you do. Huh.
I always liked her design.
Yeah. I love her voice.
Just
Yeah.
casually racing and
The human
cannonballing.
cannonball and the toy train that's the size of a fucking woof. Everyone in the future is a cartoon character. That's how they can survive. His eyes are like doing the sweats right now.
That's probably most legit to the future there. There he is, Adam West.
God rest
again.
his soul. Adam West is here, being a superhero in space.
Though he sounds more like William Shatner now.
The greatest heroes
Well,
there ever
at
lived.
least he's living his best life, you know?
I love how Wilbur's actually right on their tail. The topiaries are trampolines! Trampolipiaries! Woof.
Bunch of eccentric creatives here.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Is this him coping with a divorce or something? Because
Or-
I
or
don't know
maybe
what's going
death.
on here.
Maybe death, too. Maybe it's coping with death.
He's just following every...
It's like, what's the story here?
Now, where is the other doorbell? Wait, where's the original doorbell? I don't see that either. It's like the doorbell only exists when it needs to. Hmm. Yeah. Not an original song, obviously,
Nicole
but like,
Sullivan.
You might know her as Shigo from Kim Possible.
Yep.
Another very distinct voice. Everyone's in
Does
it.
no one
into
but
it.
Wilbur and his mom know where the garage is? Yes, I know.
I don't think anyone knows where the
garage.
garage is. At this point. Boing?
What? Ugh. It's been in a frog's mouth.
Yeah, the frog's domesticated. It's probably fine. Probably has its shots and everything. And then... Gotta get out of here. Boing! Ow. Pulling him by the ear.
Okay, so
goddamn.
this thing coming up, I'm going to talk about some
Yeah.
foreign alterations.
And this whole thing is an ad-lib right here.
It was ad-lib, but then they end up getting... end up getting Tom Selleck.
For the voice of the character who shows up later. They just
Okay,
put a picture.
so...
They put a painting of Tom
it is a
Selleck
comic
up.
book.
It's funny.
Okay, so fun fact, fun fact, in some foreign dubs, they say Tom Selleck, they say another actor who is voicing him
Yeah.
in the dub version.
And then do they put up a painting of them? Because that would be
Yeah.
amazing. So
I don't know
good.
which languages, but I know it's a thing.
Oof. Oof. That gag was stellar.
But yeah, it was improvised, but then they end up actually getting Tom Selleck.
Again, this movie was released in 3D.
Oh god, this whole interaction.
This whole interaction is great. Yeah. Oof.
God.
Woof.
That's also when you see his soft side for the first time.
Why didn't you think of that?
Baby.
Oh god, look at him tearing up.
He has a heart.
We're kind of the opposite of Yoda right now. Because that song is overplayed! He really is from the future.
Was an actual antagonist a better father than Buck? Wow, Squall.
You know, let's be fair, he's giving bad advice, but he's being kind and caring about it.
Take these words from a stranger you just met. Yeah.
Don't let it go. Don't let it go. Just hold it back. Don't let it go. Don't let it go. Just hold it back all the more.
Dude, I found a stick. Yeah. They did it twice. Wow, if I had a nickel for every time a Disney character found a stick, I'd have 2 nickels. No, actually, 4 nickels, now that I think about it.
A lot of sticks in Disney movies.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird it happened 4 times.
5 times and we'll finally have a quarter.
I've been watching a lot of Hamster and Griddle. They made the nickel joke, so.
Good lord.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird. It happened twice. They did it in song form. Yeah. Which Walt Disney said.
Yeah. That is an
this
excellent
movie
question.
feels like it is really, really personal to the animators, doesn't it?
Yeah, like legit.
It's always the personal ones that just do poorly at the box office.
So,
It's sad.
so wait a minute. Are you telling me that Cornelius Robinson is a capitalist? I wonder why he woke up in a cold sweat. I guess we'll find out later. I love this joke.
Yikes. Well, they got bigger.
The hazmat suits. I totally didn't connect that it was them in the hazmat suits.
Yeah.
But like that is really funny to have to see the melted remains of a time machine. Why are they holding on to it?
They need to change the hat.
And it has Wilbur's logo on it. That has no meaning otherwise at all. So he did the cartoony time machine first and then built a sleek, more modern design.
Robinson is Walt Disney. He's like, oh, I have this idea, and I'm going to do it just because I can. I don't care if I don't have the money for it. I'm going to do it because I can, and I want to.
And then it's like, hey, look at everything I did. It ended up working gangbusters, and everybody loves it, and everybody loves me too. It's like it's so weird.
And let's make more.
Let's make more of it. Let's just do more of it.
It's like. Now, Wilbur Robinson's like, I want to make a time machine. I did it. Now make another because.
Yeah, it's like, well, I did the first one. Let's do it again. Let's improve the design.
Eccentric creatives will rule the world someday.
The Time Machine Mark II. One day. I hear the animators are probably going to be unionizing this year, so that'll be good for them, bad for Disney. Wilbur, fuck, what's his name? Lewis isn't a very...
I mean, he's failed his whole life. He's a 12-year-old boy, so...
He is not in a good place right now.
He just needed... Remember when you were 12? Anytime you failed, it was, like, terrible, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're all pushed to succeed.
Here you go.
Ooh. The horse, the hat gave birth right in front of us.
It's a little baby hat. Teamwork, it makes the dream work.
The scene with his teacher didn't help his self-esteem.
No, really, it really didn't. Mostly because he mentioned failed.
To be fair
he really
to the
needed
teacher,
a win.
I mean, a disaster was caused.
Yeah.
Asexually reproducing. I don't know if it counts as robots.
She probably just manufactured that. I love this.
What?
I'm not even sure why he would even think that. Like, what would be easier about kidnapping him if he was a duck? Like, answer me that. I mean, nobody would see it coming, I guess.
I'll turn him into a duck.
You know, and there's the opposite doorbell. I think they just superimpose it. I don't think the doorbell, again, it doesn't actually exist in the scene. Love that everybody in the year 2030...
I believe he's named after Frank Sinatra or something.
And honestly, the fact that jazz is coming back in 2037, that thing is that's probably true.
I mean, we've got characters like Alistair who will get us back into jazzy stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right now.
Grandpa just can't stop doing that joke.
I mean, if he's living his best life as a pizza delivery guy, and he gets a really cool transportation, why can't you get a spaceship when delivering pizza? I mean, wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that make your job more exciting if you deliver pizza with a spaceship instead of a car?
I never want to go into space. There's no air up there. I'm invested in. I'm invested in living.
Airship.
Flying. You know, flying around to deliver. I would love that. That would be fun. Get above it all.
Probably avoid traffic too.
The fact that that didn't give him away immediately, I guess everybody's paying attention to too many things.
I mean, it could be that Montana people still think that they're independent.
Everyone in North Montana just calls it Canada's like, oh, hello, welcome to Canada. I mean North Montana, eh? Sorry, you always keep forgetting. We just call it Canada, you know, to the locals, to each other.
Oh, this.
Boom. I love this.
Oh, I love
this. This is great. And the way the lip sync is really bad.
The fact that the lip sync is purposely bad. In fact, you know, in anime, when they dub the English, it's totally off.
Honestly, I think this is funnier than when Horton Hears a Who did it. Though I think Horton Hears a Who has the benefit of it being 2D animated, so it's like give and take. This is the better scene, but the animation in the Horton one is pretty funny. Now I want a spicy Italian sausage. Get it, Shigo.
I always love that joke.
It's just so casual.
It reminds me of when I was over at your house, because you had a whole lot more people.
Yeah, Lewis, you sold an invention and made it work. Isn't that great? Yep. Because he knows. Wilbur knows that if anyone can give him a pep talk, it's literally everyone else in this room. It's like, oh no.
Like I guess he's not a toast guy?
He really wants his PB&J. The man is very invested in the PB&J.
Maybe because toast is too light.
Even the frogs are cartoon characters.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes.
Whatever that has to do.
I don't even know. And more 1930s-isms with the coin here.
I mean, we got records selling right now. Vintage is in.
I thought he was gonna do the button gag where he put the coin in and then pulled it out with a string.
So in the future, Amphibia and Earth collide?
I suppose so. Anne will be glad to be reunited with Hot Pop, even if she is like 30 years older.
Oh god.
That's also funny. That's not that is technobabble, but it also makes sense.
What? This is the funniest bit here.
Yeah. The gulp. You can see the gulp in the frog's throat.
Shush, shush, shush. I want to hear this.
Yeah. It's just God.
But he can say that while under mind control is wonderful.
Yeah, and like I love his limp little bodies, like little arms. I love it. Oh, poor guy.
Just eat the spaghetti while you're waiting.
I feel bad for him.
Spaghetti yet.
He's trying to keep to his diet. He's just having his PB&J treat now. Yep. Jeez, come on, wooden head. Kiss him, he's Irish.
Yeah, this is what we get. We gotta teach our kids how to fail a lot more.
Yeah, and your fortune? Keep moving forward.
It's something I'm trying to work on too. There's a benefit to losing. You get to learn from your mistakes. Thanks, Scribe, for the quote.
Also, like, that's... Bowler Hat Guy's technically doing that. He's not letting failure stop him. He just keeps going.
Well,
he's just not thinking. He's just not...
let failure. He does get hung up on failure.
Okay, he gets hung up on failure, but he still wants this plan to succeed, and he's hell-bent. Oof. What?
Yeah, I was about to say. Not to be confused with Neil Armstrong. I heard the voice change. Did you hear the voice change?
Wilbur?
You can hear when the actor went through puberty.
You know, I don't hear it as much. Maybe because I don't know. She is not happy. Oh, hi, Lewis. Oh, yeah, no, I hear that. Now I hear it.
Okay, one thing about this movie, I wish we had gotten more of these folks, you know?
True.
I feel like we don't see enough of them.
They put like 7 people in this house, or more than that, I think. It's like, you can't dedicate all your time to them. But you can dedicate just enough to the important players in order to make some brilliant time travel connections as we go forward.
I still kind of wish we gotten to know some of these people more, especially with their designs.
I think their designs and their short lines of dialogue and delivery of their performances really say a lot about their character.
I want to know what's with that one girl's hat.
She's a fashion designer,
like
probably.
Jane Jetson in very interesting attire.
She might be a fashion designer, but you're right. We don't get to explore that.
I get the fashion designer, especially with the artsy-ish that her brother's doing. Yeah.
That fucking paint splatter being in the colors of the people that splattered against the wall was always so fucking brutal to me.
If I had a nickel for every piece of Disney media where a character brought a dinosaur through time, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot. But it's weird that happened twice. Wait a minute, what was the first time?
Grab him.
I missed something. What was the other time?
Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Okay, I was thinking in the movies. Oh.
Love this bit.
And it even sounds like he's saying it.
Good lord.
T-Rex is so cute.
He's just so... Woof.
Ooh.
Definitely hear the voice crack in that read. And you thought that topiary trampolines weren't important? Ha! Joke's on you!
Yeah. And me realizing how long it's been since I watched this movie
wait a minute,
before.
somebody... Yeah, he got Ed. Dude, are you in sports at school? Because you probably should be. That was a real crack shot.
I mean, considering everybody's firing stuff, I'm sure they have some kind of cannon training in this family.
Rib it on the license plate.
Another reference to Back to the Future. Because remember they did the exact same thing.
That's right. Biff stuffed him in the fucking trunk.
And we're in the same suits too.
What an idiot. Well, they were all going to prom.
I mean, same color suits in the.
That's true. Well, no, those were the guys trying to get Marty McFly out of the trunk. They were the band.
Exactly. And that's what I mean. The band. Yeah.
So it's kind of a reverse. Woof. When you accidentally call your teacher mom, but it's like. And he noticed there's a bruise on her forehead. They're pretty nicely painted bruise too. Look at the shiner on him. I think he had that all the way from dinner when he got hit in the face with the thing.
And for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's my only real problem. I feel like something's a little too fast.
Well, yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't give you time with the family, but like. Yeah. Aww.
Pretty pushy.
Man, it's so sweet. This is... Oh, God. And Wilbur can't say anything. And... Oh, fuck. Yeah, no.
He was finally thinking of moving forward. But... do it.
What the hell?
The fact that the grandparents are the most shocked. Just saying. By the way.
Oof. As if he wasn't already in trouble. I mean...
At least the dino's pretty docile without the hat.
Woof. And, yeah, can you blame him? Woof.
Dude! Yeah, before people harp on her, I'm sure she'll make it till college at some point.
I mean, she's definitely exaggerating, but like...
What parent hasn't exaggerated at one point and then 5 seconds later yeah, you're not grounded anymore.
Here's the thing, Lewis is 12. He thought for a minute that he could trust him.
How are you doing that?
He's flying around in the ship with the visor open, probably.
Okay, that makes sense. He's all green.
He looks very green. Everyone's in shades of green right now.
No, the villains are always in shades of green. It's a thing.
Yeah.
He's not the man he claims to be. I've seen his true colors in shades of green. Sorry, I was listening to the Wish soundtrack in the car.
And only Wilbur can actually
I was grounded
see.
for a year, but a few months later I was ungrounded. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like, it can't ground someone for a year. That's impossible and unreasonable. Oof.
I mean, I'm sure every parent every now and then in anger was
Eventually,
just like,
this thing's gotta come down,
die.
right? How is this building still intact?
Get that boy.
He got that damn boy.
Just open his binder. Open his unicorn binder.
How fucking childish. Which... Woof. Be fair, they've been dropping hints about it the whole movie. They've been dropping hints left, right, and
This
center.
is one of the best plot twists Disney's ever done.
Yep, because it's not a surprise to the audience, it's a surprise to the characters.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, I didn't quite get it until maybe like
neither
5
did
seconds
I.
leading up to this.
Oh, neither did I, but if people were like, more of the parents in the audience probably picked up on this pretty easily.
But here's the bigger plot twist.
Even bigger plot twist, which was also brilliantly foreshadowed. He's wearing bed sheets. Ugh.
Still, he hasn't changed at all.
Not at all.
Talk about living in the past. All this.
Yep.
All because of a damn baseball.
Yep. Kind of the reverse of Chicken Little here.
Because you are so bitter.
Yep. Very bitter.
Oh, he really does wear his bed sheets.
Yep. God.
What they to you, and they liked your unicorn binder.
Yep.
So it was really all just you. You just stayed there.
Poor motherfucker. And it took him 30 years to find this out.
Considering he didn't go to school and all that time, and
Yep. Yeah, but also just like, nobody checked up on him.
you think child services would have checked up on him?
The building was condemned.
Oh.
Love it.
I love how this villain just loves unicorns and ponies.
But this is the problem with artificial intelligence.
And now it looks like Hal.
Yep. And we see his face very briefly, because, I mean, we already know at this point. It wouldn't be a surprise that he looked like him.
Door 15 doors. We kept all his failed inventions. Oh, look, and there's an R on the toilet paper. They even made toilet paper.
Yep. Yep.
Trash.
Yep.
And what kid hasn't done something stupid like this?
Yep. Who do I think Goob's favorite pony is?
Probably Pinkie Pie.
I was gonna say Applejack.
No, he likes the pink ones.
I guess so. And he's got that energy too, very over the top. Good lord.
Maybe Starlight Glimmer's his favorite. Pink unicorn, and she was evil at one point.
She's a little pink, yeah. Maybe it'd be
She
Cadence,
pinkish.
though.
Damn.
Yeah, this motherfucker just...
And I thought Maleficent held a grudge.
It's the same advertisement on the other building. Are both buildings condemned and they never tore them down? Woof.
Yeah, it's like
Welcome to the
thought,
idyllic future. Here's the slums.
I thought Maleficent held a grudge, but this guy, it's like the king of holding a grudge.
Whoop. Doris saved your life, bud. And it's brilliant. Woof. Whoa. The actor for Wilbur must have recorded those lines early in production because he sounded super young there.
Yeah, see, I told you. It's like with Arthur when you hear the voice cracks.
Yeah.
Wilbur went through reverse puberty, time machines.
You know, that's true. Why do you say that?
That's not.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was like treating him like a kid this whole time, like, yes, I finally get revenge for my dad treating me like a kid.
The clouds in this movie are really good. Oh.
If Apple never grew up to go to this future, and then one of the one for the fast state to what?
Here's something for you. Here's a wild one for you. Because Bowler Hat Guy went to the past and ruined the science fair, the coach left the science fair and was able to give Mike Yogubian in the past a pep talk, which is why he was thinking, like, maybe I should let it go before this goob came back and convinced, but may have convinced him otherwise, maybe. Because in the timeline as it is, the coach stayed at the science fair and thus left the kids to their own devices, and Goob became bitter and grew up into this. She was playing you for a sap.
I mean, she just like...
She plans ahead. You don't plan at all. He's so stuck in the past, he can't even think ahead.
Well, the fact that these people are here...
Well, the thing is that...
Wait, how is she able to say Lewis and wait.
Because,
see, this is what I mean. I'm confused. How are you all together in this house then?
Doris knows. Doris remembers.
Okay, I get it. I get that.
And the thing is, Doris...
Because, you know, Fran wouldn't have met the grandparents because she didn't marry Lewis, and then...
And Doris would have to use mind control on future Lewis, aka Cornelius, in order to get him to invent...
But then that future Cornelius never happened because this Lewis never went to the past.
But that's the thing. This is all based on a timeline where Lewis does make it back and invents her in the first place, because otherwise she can't be there. Which is why the way this things happen in just a minute here.
Yeah, But Lewis is in the now and not in the past. And as a
Give it. No, because like if it weren't him fixing the time machine and coming back of his own accord, then Doris would have come back and just, you know, made him come back, would have forced him to. You're coming with us, kid.
Probably why. You're right, which is probably why they're going after him now.
We just gotta capture you. We gotta bring you back alive. It's like they were
you're right.
Like they were just trying to get.
She was also created by the company. I mean, all the other hats were created by the company.
But she initially wouldn't have been invented if he didn't invent her.
You know,
which is why
we're not going to figure this out.
Which is why this technically works. It's
we're
still
never gonna
stupid,
figure this
but it like, because time travel movies always have some kind of hole unless it's a closed time loop.
His handwriting.
Yep.
Yes, this is confusing. I mean, literally came from the future, dude.
And there it is. The determination.
Okay, so there was an alternate scene where he took Goob
to the baseball game.
To the baseball game.
But,
and they're like, wake up, Goob.
But that's gonna come back. We'll bring it back. And the reason we have to have time travel work like this, and like you have to go back in time and do all this sort of shit, is so we can have this visual and have Goob see the future that he and Doris created, to realize what his hatred and malice has truly wrought. Like just being so vindictive and petty for all these years. This is what it led to. It didn't lead to anything good. It just made a mess of everything.
I thought she was a fellow brony.
Woof! God, just ruining him.
That was a. He's been taking lessons from his mom. Obviously.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Self-defense class. Because he hasn't showered in 30 years, the poor bastard.
It's like, remind you, I'm your father, and you have to do what I say. He really.
Yep. And here's something really, really important. Now he just doesn't know what to do. Because he's wasted his whole life on revenge, and only to realize that it got him literally nothing. He's like, where to go from here?
And he's probably going to cease to exist.
Oh, at least this version of him, sure. Yep.
There's Tom Selleck.
Here he is.
And he's still wearing the same kind of outfit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have been ratted out to himself by himself, but you know.
Does Cornelius remember this day? That's my question.
See, he might. He just might.
He's like, oh, we're in that point in time. Oh, I wish. Except I wish I had a huge writing office with a big desk.
Yeah. It's set there, the same blanket. Some nostalgia is one hell of a drug.
Man.
Some people just can't let go.
Yeah. The baby blanket, yeah. You're right. It is a baby blanket. God. Man, this is like if Walt Disney had like the one I'm most proud of, and he like shows that like that first sketch of that he made when I was like 10 or something. See this?
Yeah.
This is like the entire animation industry's.
This is kind of Walt Disney's ghost. Walt Disney talking to his past self, telling him like it does get better in a way. It's like it's kind of cool actually, and also kind of sad.
Slow down, guys. Slow down. Oh God, I'm crazy.
Everyone's going insane.
I mean, we're talking about future stuff, so we are one smart kid.
Yeah, no kidding.
And you're gonna tell me the exact same thing in 3 years. So remember what I said.
Oh, he'll remember. He's got a pretty big brain there.
He's not gonna live up to that. Promise. He's not gonna give you muscles.
Yeah.
It's like, but
Such a knowing thing to say. That Cornel, you clever.
Okay, yeah. Before you guys say anything, she says that for a very specific reason.
Yep, everybody knows where he's going and when he'll be.
The fact that it was very awkward that he called his future wife Mom.
That was really. I mean, she has to imagine like now. I mean, I don't even think they're thinking about it. It's like.
Seriously, like these people must have really loved Back to the Future. And they're keeping the T-Rex. They're keeping the T-Rex.
Yeah, they're keeping the T-Rex. I have to imagine that after they're flying away, that Cornelius is like, he's remembering this moment. Is like, did I call you Mom? And it's like, oh my gosh, you did.
The fact that he met her when she was a grown-up. Man. Well, it's less weird than the whole Marty McFly thing.
No, because she didn't meet him when he was that age. When she was this age, she met him first. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's less it's less problematic than the Marty McFly meeting his mom in the past.
Much less because there's nothing. Yeah, because they meet in the future. There's such an age discrepancy. It would never have happened. Going into the past is what made Back to the Future weird.
His mind that...
Honestly, though, the Back to the Future one, that is just, it's a really funny joke. I love it. I think those jokes are really funny. People made this. And this is really fucking important. And the big ethos of this movie about keep moving forward. He's seen what holding on to the past could do to the future. Just because of what happened with Goob, and he realizes, and he'll say it later. He'll say it later.
He won't get that family.
This is important, right here.
Yeah,
we all remember that noise.
That in the beginning.
Who the hell was that?
That it did. But then
closed time loop. Closed time loop. Everything had to happen. Well, everything had to happen in order for the future to be built and to happen.
Is it because my brain, little baby?
It all technically and
look at your little baby boy.
She left. So who knocks on the door? It's so fucking brilliant. He knocks on the door. It's so fucking... That gotta be trippy. It's so fucking brilliant.
That gotta be trippy, looking at your younger self.
That's gotta be wild, man.
And if he had done the memory scanner and seen that day, he would have seen himself and been like, what the fuck? Right?
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I mean, I think those scenes are from completely different drafts where they are made independently of each other, because in the memory scanner one, he just turns it off to not even see his mom, because that's not the point. The point is to let go of the past and keep moving forward. That was the whole point. As the whole ethos of this movie is that you can't let the past define you. You just learn from it. Same ethos as The Lion King, actually. Same lesson. That's why he let it go. Because he was so set. He was just like Goob. He was so set in his past that he just refused to move forward. Oh.
Oh, and he mended it.
It wasn't
You
his...
just love bossing your dad around, don't you?
You said it over and over and over and over and over again. 30 years later, but well, I guess not 30 years later.
I'm in 2024.
Yep. See you later, Dad. That's really sweet too.
Originally, a sequel was supposed to be made to be the love story of Lewis and Franny, which I would like to see.
It'd be interesting, especially if they threw in a little bit of time travel drama as well. There would have been some investment in there. And this is important.
Hey,
Lewis.
it was a Jungle Book ad.
Yeah,
Toy Story.
look at that.
Jungle Book and Toy Story.
And a Toy Story 2, actually. But yeah, it was important that Goob shouldn't fix his own future. Lewis should make up for the mistakes of the past.
Yeah, and also, how could have Goob from the future have fixed with Goob from the past? And never mind. Am I right? Isn't here yet? Okay, so originally, when he looked in the memory scanner, he saw the orphanage lady, the one taking care of him. So he did actually use it in an original version, an older version.
So, punch in.
Yeah, and then she decides to see.
Probably the happiest day of her life.
Because, you can accomplish many things, but you can still enjoy your wedding.
Aww. Aww.
See you.
Yep. But he doesn't figure it out till now.
There we go. Even at this wedding.
They have no idea what he's talking about.
They did say we'll see you real soon.
But they don't know what he's talking about. Not yet anyway, though. And comes full circle.
So who came up with the name Cornelius?
Closed time loop, but someone threw a peach at you.
Oh. You remember she bumped into Wilbur earlier?
Yep.
She is so cute.
She's got her karate arms up.
She believed in him. He believed in her, and that's what made her fall for him.
And even without the intervention, like, because there's a future that exists where, because there's a future that exists where Bowler Hat Guy doesn't intervene. He probably just, frogs are. Yeah, no, I think you're right. There's potential there at least. Because, like, he's a smart kid. He'd probably be like, no, I think you're right. We should explore that idea. Keep moving forward.
And he moved forward, and he's finding family.
Yep. Aww.
You fail all those other adoption interviews so that you can end up with the right one.
Yeah. It's failure. Failure is the teacher, but then you got to the point where he was abandoning every adoption interview. Like, and obviously the one point where time didn't get fucked up was the time when he was abandoning it.
Oh,
so
they
he
got
needed
the old
to.
observatory.
And familiarity is
I
wild.
failed with all those other crushes so I can find you, honey.
Oh. I could right back at you.
Oh yes, this movie was not featured in the Wish end credits. This and the
not.
Rescuers
What
for
a
some reason.
I don't even think Rescuers Down Under was represented. They ignored Rescuers altogether.
Nope, they ignored Rescuers altogether. Like I thought, okay, maybe they'll show up when the Rescuers Down Under comes up. No, they didn't.
I figured they wouldn't count sequels, but they did Fantasia 2000 and Fantasia. Like, I'm baffled. And look, hey, it's the prototype for Carl in the corner.
Around here, however, we don't look backwards for very long. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing new things because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. Walt Disney. Yeah, like this whole movie's just a love letter to Walt Disney.
Because Walt was an inventor too. Audio animatronics did not come from nothing.
He was an innovator. That's what he was, an innovator.
That's true. He invented the multiplane camera. The technology that allowed for like parallax background art in Snow White and a lot of other classic Disney films. He invented that.
Oh yeah, this was based on a book though, A Day with Wilbur Robinson.
Yep. And scored by
Really?
Danny Elfman.
Wait?
Damn.
What? What?
What?
How did I not know this?
What?
How
And
did I
executive
not know
produced
that?
by Mr. Lasseter. Get out of here.
How
Thank
did
you.
I know not Danny
And
Elfman
produced
was
by
involved in
William
here?
Joyce. I think because it's not a very typical score for him until you hear moments like the choir, like the dramatic choir.
Well, apparently these hardcore Disney fans missed this important detail.
Visual
It's
effects
bound
of
to happen.
Steve Goldberg. CGI supervisors, and everybody who... That's not the same Harmar Camel that you're probably thinking of. Also not spelled correctly, I don't think. Not the same. There was someone who worked on...
very loosely.
There was someone who worked on this movie who was actually named like Bernice Robinson. That's delightful. Modeling, rigging, cloth, skin, lead character finalizing, supervising painter. God, all the shit that goes into this sort of thing. But like, God. So let's talk about that time travel shit, right? Right?
No, I've already hurt my brain enough trying to figure out everything that happened.
All right. But as far as
people have hurt their brains trying to figure out Back to the Future, but nah.
But like overall, when it comes to this story and like the like
time travel
for all intents and parsable.
Parsable?
Trying to
For all intents and purposes.
Yeah, I'm bleh, bleh, I'm going crazy. Poof. But the hell was Gaston?
That was the brother with the meatball cannon. Gaston, my toy train's ready for ya!
That's right. There's this little profile of Bowler Hat. Love him.
He's probably living a better life now.
Oh yeah. But like
then his version, this bowler hat version, would never have existed, and then Doris would have never existed. Therefore, Lewis wouldn't have been inclined to go to the future. And then, what?
Closed time loop. I don't know what to tell you.
That makes no sense. No, that is not a closed time loop. Closed time loops are when there are no paradoxes there.
It's stupid. The time travel in this movie is not. The time travel in this movie is not great.
So I'm going to tell you. So in this series, Dark World.
Okay, honey. I think we're talking about this movie as a commentary.
Okay, but I'm going to tell you an example of where this is a closed time loop that works. Where they have to go back in time to the ship called the Titanic. And of course they're like, hey, what's the Titanic? Oh yeah, it was this really big cruise ship in like 1912. They go back and something happens where because they're there, that it crashes into an iceberg. And when they go back to the present, their memories are they have this extra layer of memories over where they remember, oh yeah, the Titanic, we want to get the thing we want before the iceberg hits, but then the iceberg hits anyway. And so yes, like it's a closed time loop because yes, it still happened, but it was like layered over that, and then they have the memories of that previous timeline.
Wild. Yep.
Yes, thank you, Cosmic Trail. It's not a closed time loop.
All right, it's just okay. So anyway, this movie's great otherwise. Like, outside of its confusing paradoxes, and they use the paradoxes for dramatic tension. So, if nothing else, they work in the bounds of, like, narrative structure. Or at least, like, narrative import, like an emotional sense of the narrative. Like, when you can just sit back and realize that time travel is possible, and then anything's possible, including erasing people from existence, you allow the movie to just sit with you and, you know, just be what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what you could say is that they're showing us that the future is not set in stone.
Yeah, which is definitely a great way to put it.
We can still make the choices.
That's kind of the whole point, though. Like, yeah.
It still hurts my brain.
The more they worked on the scripts, the wackier the film became. Yeah, let's not undersell how funny this movie is either. Like, it is legit very, very amusing, and
I just wish I'd gotten to know the family a little more, but that's my personal thing. Because they're very interesting. They have interesting designs. They have interesting little moments. Like, but I want to know their stories. I want to know what their fucking histories are.
Which is definitely something they could have done in the friggin'. Special thanks to the Walt Disney Animation Studio, whose tireless efforts made this film possible. That's a callback to Snow White. God, yeah, if this film wasn't about wasn't about Walt Disney already, like, goddamn.
Yeah, if they had made, Scribe's girlfriend wrote a history of the family when she was a kid.
Nice.
I admire that.
For all intents and purposes, they probably could have explored that in the sequel we never got, but you know.
Or I would have gone with a spin-off series, like just to see a real day in the life with Wilbur Robinson, or even just a short. Like, let us get to know the family a little in their future.
Yeah. You said that before, Scribe, about the animation being inspired by Looney Tunes, which, I mean, yeah, I mean, they did that in friggin' Emperor's New Groove and in CGI with Chicken Little, so. Yeah, anyway, but like, yeah, this is great. This...
Mini movies of a day in the life with each family member.
What if?
Well, it definitely wouldn't be the same of voices by this time. Adam West is gone.
God rest his soul. Well, they could use archival dialogue and just make it a mostly dialogue-free short.
No, it wouldn't be the same. Okay.
But yeah, that's a good movie.
It's underrated, yes.
It is. It is.
Definitely one of the best Disney plot twists.
But definitely,
like, maybe you could guess it, but you definitely can't. One thing that never really got me was like I definitely didn't guess that bowler hat guy was Goo. But although they did hint at it when he first looks at his younger self and like. Yeah. Just that look on his face, and then when he says, "No, you must keep it in."
He's really trying to make certain that nothing will change, that his plans will be set in motion.
And also because he's still holding on. And meanwhile, Little Goop was like, "Yeah, maybe I should just let it go," because everyone else was letting it go, but him. Yeah,
well, no, because like I say, there was probably like an off-screen so in the future that bowler hat guy comes from. The coach was at the science fair. But then the coach left the gym in the science fair in this version of the timeline, so he was probably able to see, like, hey kid, wear the long face, and, like, give Goob a little pep talk. So, yeah, that's probably what happened, because otherwise he probably wouldn't just be sitting there. He'd probably be stewing in his anger at Lewis otherwise.
Oh gosh.
But yeah.
Writer is right. Next week we get Miley Cyrus and the John Travolta doggo. That is one way to put it.
And at least we don't have to deal with weird time travel shit, so...
Yeah.
And that makes it very hard to talk, because that makes it really hard to talk about the story in any meaningful emotional way, because the time travel has to be as fucked up as it is and have all those paradoxes in order for the emotional beats of the story to work well. It's like it's a give and take. You either accept the fact that the time travel is stupid and makes no sense, or you're not gonna enjoy the movie very well. You're just gonna be like, God, no, my head hurts. Just take for granted that this works, and then you just, you know, forget it. You just ignore it, you know, like just, it's like that's it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay. I think pretty much said mostly what needs to be said.
good animation,
It's a fun
great
movie.
characters.
I don't have as much to say about it, and just realize how long it's been since I've watched this in full.
Fucked up time travel, but great emotional beats. Thank you all so much for joining us on this wacky adventure. And if you're viewing this after the fact, hello from the past. How is everything in the future? And until next time, remember to take care, stay safe, and be kind in all that you do. Good night, everybody!
Happy birthday, Wilbur Robinson!